Oh, hi. Hi, guys. My name is Ritzel.
Hello.
I'm currently based in Canada, not the US, uh, which is wanted you guys in. So, okay. So, so the question is, as Christians, what should be the character of the person we should go into a relationship with? First of all, I just wanted us to know what a relationship looks like. So a relationship has to be with God first, with yourself, and with each other. So examples of such and there are types of relationship. We have friendship relationship, we have work relationship, we have romantic relationship, and we have family relationship. And examples of such relationship, like Ruth had a romantic relationship with Boaz, and it can be found in Ruth 4 verse 13. David had an amazing friendship with Jonathan, and then Jacob had a working relationship with his father-in-law Laban. So back to the question. So I I actually place them in categories. So it normally when you are in a relationship talk, people would like to say, okay, if you're a woman, hear the man parts, what you should see in the man. And then if you're a man, hear the woman parts, what you should see, the qualities you should see in a woman. But I personally think that you should listen to all of it. As a woman, you have to know the qualities or character that you have to portray when you meet your spouse or when you're waiting for your spouse. And as a man, you also have to know the qualities that you have. So you check yourself to see if you have those qualities that the Bible portrays. Sorry. So first, so I'm going to take the wife or the female first. So the first one is the godly wife, which can be found in Ephesians 2:22 to 23. Sorry, and we are going to do a lot of Bible reading. So please, if you don't have your Bible close to you, please bring it close to you so that you can participate in this, okay? So Ephesians 5:20 to 23 says, "Wives, submit to your husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as also Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body." So the first thing we have to know as a godly, as like the character you have to have is to be submissive. And submission doesn't just have to be with your spouse or your partner, it even has to be with each other. You have to submit to each other, right? And right now, the Bible is saying that if you are married to someone, and even if you have a partner, you have to be submissive to the person. Please, do we all understand?
Yes, please.
Okay. And then we have the very famous Proverbs 31 woman. So that one is from Proverbs 31:10 to 31.
Okay, so Proverbs chapter 31, verse 10 to 22. Is that what you said?
31.
31. Okay. An excellent wife who can find. She is far more precious than jewels. The heart of a husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not harm all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and works with willing hands. She is like the ship of the merchant. She brings her food from afar. She rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and portions for her maidens. She considers a field and buys it. Herself with strength and makes her arms strong. She perceives that her merchandise is profitable, a lamp does not go out at night. She puts her hands to the distaff, and her hands hold the spindle. She opens her hand to the poor and reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household. She makes bed coverings for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple.
Point out like three very important things that the Proverbs woman character is that right now, I mean, if you go on social media, people are making it look like that is not what a woman is supposed to do. As we can see, the Proverbs 31 woman works hard. She's a hard worker. She doesn't sit for her husband to bring food to her. She engages in something. She invests in businesses. She creates avenues for proceeds. So that is one character that if you're a man, you're looking for a woman, you should look for if she's hardworking. Even I personally don't have a problem with people who think that their wives or partners, they want them to be a stay-at-home mom. But one thing about relationship is that both of you must come together to make it work, and it's hard work, right? So the two of you have to work hard in order to be able to make it work. So if someone is lazy, be it business, be it in terms of anything that they are supposed to do and they don't want to do it, or they don't have the capacity to do it because they are lazy, it's not a good virtue. So you have to look for someone who is hardworking. That's the first one. The second one is you can see that she protects her family. She protects her family. So the verse, let me just go back to the verse and just show you where. Sorry, hold on. So there's the verse that says that she goes to sleep without thinking about the harm that can come. It means that she protects her family in prayer. So you have to look for someone who is prayerful, who knows that God like she she prays to God, so she knows that okay, God has my family like protected, so I do not have to worry about it. So you have to look for someone who is prayerful. Also, you also have to look for someone who has a noble character, who is a rare gem, someone that when you go, like I can give an example. There are some people they cannot even go and preach in their area because almost all the guys in their area know the kind of person she is. So they cannot go and preach in their area because of how, or evangelize in their area because of their character. So you have to look for someone that is of noble character, someone that is rare. So that is, and those are the three main things. But there are other things that the Proverbs woman carries. So I don't think I can go through all of it, but we can also, I would give this, I wrote down all the characteristics and I'll give it to Caleb so that he sends it to you people whenever he gets the chance. So, but those are the three things, and I can add another one that you can also see that she takes good care of her appearance. Some people think that when you're in Christ, you don't have to look presentable or you don't have to appear well. But the Proverbs 31 woman, you can see that she takes care of herself, she takes care of her family, she makes sure that she's sewing clothes, she's doing this, making sure that everyone in her family is covered. So that those are three things that I can say about the Proverbs 31 woman. The second, the second woman I would want to talk about is the unforgettable woman. And that can be found in First Samuel 25, 28 to 35, and 39 to 42. So another character, so this is the story of the unforgettable woman, Abigail. So one character about Abigail was she was a woman of good understanding. When the servants came to tell her about the what her husband Nabal had done, she quickly went to meet the king to apologize for what her husband has done. So she understood. She didn't have to say, she didn't have to quarrel or argue or feel big because of maybe who she was or anything like that. Because she could have said, my husband is also a king. So why should I go and beg another king for what my husband has done? But she humbled herself. Another character is that she was also humble. She humbled herself, went to meet the king, and then apologized. So, first of all, she was of good understanding. And then she was also very humble. Another thing I can say about her was that she was actually a wife material, because you can see that in the last part, when her husband died, David went to ask her to be his wife. So you have to see that wife material character in her to be able to approach her and say, "Oh, like, can I date you? Can I court you? Can I marry you?" So those are the three main characters of Abigail that led her to marrying David. So yeah. The next thing is the qualities of a godly wife, which can be found in Ephesians 5:22 to 23. I would read that. So Ephesians 5:22 to 23 says, "Wives, submit yourself to your husbands as your own." And I think I've done this, have I? I think I've done this. Wives, yeah, I've done this. So she also has to be submissive. And yeah, those are the main things. She has to be submitted. She has to respect her husband always. The next woman is the obedient woman, which is from Ruth. So we would open our Bibles to Ruth 3:1 to 5. So another characteristic that you should look for in a woman is the obedience. She has to be obedient to authority. Because one thing about relationship is that you have to be obedient to an authority. So let's say there's an argument going on, and you have like one person that can speak to your partner that will listen. You don't want to marry a partner that does not respect their pastor or the counselor. You want a partner who is obedient. So if something happens right now, like let's say there's an argument and she doesn't want to listen to you because for some reason she thinks you are not speaking her language, you can go and talk to your pastor who she reveres. "Oh, can you help me to talk to so and so?" Date someone who is obedient, or look for someone that is obedient to authority. The other thing about Ruth is that she was also serviceable. So I think we can see that in Ruth too. Hold on a second. Let me see. So we can see that in Ruth 2:1 to 5. So over here we can see that Ruth was very serviceable. She was willing to go to the field to get some grains for her mother-in-law, and she was hardworking. So we can see that she was working from dawn to dusk. So you have to look for someone who is hardworking and someone who is serviceable. Ruth 2 verse 18. She carried it back. So let's start from 17 so that we can understand. So Ruth gleaned in the field until evening. Then she threshed the barley she had gathered, and it mounted to about an ephah. She carried it back to town, and her mother-in-law saw how much she had gathered. Ruth also brought out and gave her what she had left over after she had eaten enough. So over here, we can see Ruth being kind-hearted, even though she was given food to eat, she still decided to keep some for her mother-in-law. And even when David had already, even when Boaz had already told her to take some, she was still thinking about her mother-in-law, was given to her mother-in-law in addition to what she had gathered. Reaches out to the one. You have to have someone who is kind-hearted. And the next one is she also has a noble character, and that can be found in 3 verse 11. And now, my daughter, don't be afraid. I'll do for you all you have asked. All the people of my town know that you're a woman of noble character. So you can see that she's a woman of noble character because nobody would want to leave their comfort zone to join their mother-in-law in a place they haven't been before. Everybody knew about Ruth because not only did she sacrifice and leave her family behind, but she also made sure that her mother-in-law was fine. She was taking good care of her mother-in-law. So that was a noble character that everyone knew about. Not You shouldn't look for someone that's in the house, they have different character. Outside, they have different character. In church, they are holy. You have to look for someone that if you mention her name, oh, do you know Christabel? Oh, Christabel, she's this, she's that, oh, she has this character. It shouldn't be different. Like, okay, do you know Christabel? You go and ask about her in school or work, and it's a different thing altogether. It's like she has 2 or 3 sides to her. She has to have a noble character that everyone is aware of, or those within her circle are aware of. So that is also another character. Then finally, we go to Esther, the favored woman. And then we can look at that from Esther 2, verse 17. Now the king was attracted to Esther more than to any of the other women, and she won his favor and approval more than any of the other virgins. So he set a royal crown on her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. So you have to look for somebody who is attractive. I know that people said, "Oh, beauty is not beauty fades away." Okay, beauty fades away. We are not talking about the outward appearance alone. Even though over here it looks like the king was looking at Esther's outward appearance, but we are talking about inner beauty and outward beauty. So you have to be attracted to the person inwardly. Like there has to be something that attracts you to the person. You cannot just go for somebody that you are not attracted to, but she's a Christian, she's godly, she prays. You don't have to overlook the attraction. You also have to look for somebody who is attracted. And even in the Proverbs 31 woman, she took good care of herself. She was taking care of her outward appearance as well. Another thing is that she must be spiritual. So that has to be from Esther 4, verse 15. And Esther 4, verse 15 says, Then Esther sent his reply, and then Esther sent this reply to Mordecai: Go, gather all the Jewish who are in Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my attendants will fast as you do. When this is done, I'll go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish. So this is a spiritual. now, so I don't know if you know the story of Esther. So now they were coming against her people, and she had to do something. And the only thing that she could think about was to first fast. And I want to think that when she was fasting, she also prayed as well. So she was telling the people to also help her to fast, so that before she goes to stand in front of the king, she has already spoken to her God. So you have to look for someone who is spiritual, who is God fearing. That is also another character you have to look for. And the last thing you have to look for is, like I said, she has to be obedient to authority. So Esther 2:20, you can see that some of the things are repeating. So that means that those things are very important. So Esther 2:20 says, but Esther had kept secret her family background and nationality, just as Mordecai had told her to do. For she continued to follow Mordecai's instructions as she had done when he was bringing her up. So Esther was obedient to authority. She respected what Mordecai had already told her to do, and she followed the instruction. So again, you have to look for someone who is obedient to authority. And so that is all for the women. If you're a man and you are going to look for a woman, she must be obedient. I'm just going to go through it. She has to be spiritual. You have to be attracted to her. She has to be hardworking. She has to be kind-hearted. She has to be a woman of noble character. She has to be serviceable. She has to respect her husband. She has to be submissive. And she has to have good understanding down, so that if you want to go back and then um look at it, you can also go back. So I'll send that to Caleb after we are done with the talk. So the next gender I'm going to talk about is the men. So women, what you are supposed to look for in the man. So we will talk about the Proverbs 31 man. Yeah, I know that you don't know about the Proverbs 31 man. We are confused. I remember when I saw that on Victoria Renzi's page that I was like, oh, I've read Proverbs 31 for so many times, and I've never thought it. And I was like, oh, that's actually true. That's also a character of a man that you should look out for. So we would open our Bibles to Proverbs 31, and if anyone wants to read Proverbs 31, hold on. Proverbs 31, verse 4 to 6. Okay. Amen. So I don't know for you, I don't know for you guys, but me personally, I don't want to have I don't want to see my future spouse to be a drunkard, to be smoking, to do all sorts of things that would keep them in a state of, you cannot, to me those things make you weak. You don't have control of yourself after you are drunk. You don't have control of yourself after you are high. You don't have control of yourself what just when you drink and then when you are high. So, like the Bible is saying, those who drinks beer are for those who are perishing. So for me, I would tell you that the first character to not look for or to look out for is the person should be sober, not a drunkard. Because when you are drunk, you cannot think for yourself, you cannot control yourself, and you see a different side of the person. So you will want to make sure that the person is not drinking or it's not high on drugs or anything like that. That's the first thing I would say. Well, it's not first on the list, but I'm just mentioning the characters. The second one is he defends the rights of the poor and needy. So this is someone who reaches out to the poor and needy. He doesn't cheat them. He doesn't manipulate them. So we can see that in Proverbs 31, verse 8. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and needy. So that is another character of a Proverbs 31 man. He has to defend the poor and needy. So I don't know if you are seeing the relation. So the Proverbs 31 lady, she reaches out to the poor. The Proverbs 31 man, he defends them. He judged fairly. So for me, I always say that when you're looking out for someone, your interest must match. You shouldn't be someone who likes reaching out to the poor and or like to give to the work of God, and then your partner is saying, those pastors, you're going to spend your money, you'll be giving it out. You are going to help the needy again. Don't. Like I'm against it. Don't take any money again. Those two things, those two people, they cannot, I don't know if they can have a successful or a fulfilling marriage, especially if you know that your purpose on earth or one of your purpose on earth is to help people. You don't want to be with someone who is against that purpose. You want your purpose and your interest to align. So for me, this one shows that their purpose are aligning. If I'm reaching out, my partner is not because someone is poor, it's not treating them fairly, you know. It's treating them with kindness, it's speaking up for them when they haven't done any wrong. So that is another characteristic that you have to look for. Another one is he should be a man, he should have full confidence in his wife. So we can see that in Proverbs 31:11. And it says that her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. So an example is you'd see some men that would personally not want to marry a woman because they make more money than them or they have a higher position than them. This Proverbs 31 man, he had full confidence in his wife. Like he knew the value of his wife. So he had confidence in. I don't know if I heard of a story of one man who like he had a business deal or something. He was confused as to what move to make. And he was like, he told the people, let me go and call my wife and know what she would say. Like, let me just call her. This is a man who has full confidence. He's not looking at the wife as, oh, she's the last person I'll call because she's not even that intelligent to make decisions. You know, so you want to be with someone who is fully confident in you, whether you are the branch manager or you are whatever society considers as the lowest paying job or anything. He still has full confidence in you and your value to him. Not like you are he's doing you a favor by marrying him, but he's confident in you regardless, and he sees value in you. That's why he is with you. So that's another thing. The other thing to also look out for is that he's a man of good reputation. He's respected. So we can see that in Proverbs 31:23. And it says that her husband is respected in the city gates, where he takes his seat amongst the elders of the land. So we see this woman who everyone knows her of, like as a woman with good or noble character, and her husband is respected. Because of that, her husband is respected. So that is also another thing that a lady calls that when you go somewhere, then Kofi. Kofi dear on you. Like he's not a good person. No. He's just so mean. Even if you ask him for anything, he's not going to give you. No. It should be someone that when you go to the society and you mention the in Africa we think that respect is when you mention it, the person has a big position. But respect is when you are for me, respect is when you're in a place, maybe they are drinking or they are smoking or something, and because they know what you bring, like you are someone who is sober, when you get there, they would immediately hide the thing. Do you get it? Because you're as for this person, when you are with him or her, you don't do these things. I had a friend who I used to go to lectures with her, and she for some reason she used to wear skimpy clothes, and every time she's going for to lectures with me, she always tells herself that me every time I'm going for lectures with you, I always have to make sure that I'm well dressed, because I always tell her that I cannot be well dressed and decently dressed and you'll be working with me. People will not even think I'm a good friend to you. So you have to that is what respect is. Not when you are the branch manager, hey boss, no. You have to make a difference wherever you find it. That is where you carry your respect to. So that's what a respected man has to look like, or a man of good reputation. And then he blesses and praises his wife as well. So that is the Proverbs 31 man. And we also have the Ephesians 5 man. So we can turn our Bibles to Ephesians again. Sorry, I'm going back and forth. But, Ephesians 5 verse 23. And it says that, for the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. So you can see that the head means the person is a leader. So the man must be a leader, not leader like maybe church leader or anything. He must have the characteristics of a leader. He must, because in the marriage, he's going to lead his family. He's the head. He has to lead you in prayers. Sometimes we say that, the women have to pray. The women have to be there. The ones that the man is supposed to be the one to lead the family in prayers, not the woman. So if you are dating a man that every time you are the one telling, quick, let's go and pray. Let's go and pray. It's like you are forcing the person. Just reevaluate your life, because he's the one supposed to say, family meeting, family prayers, let's pray together. Let's read the Bible before we go to bed. He has to lead in every way. That's one thing. The other one is he must love his wife like Christ loves the church. That's Proverbs 5:25. So we see it here that husbands, love your wife just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. So one thing about, I think I was listening to someone and the person said that she was praying that her husband will love God so much. But then again, she thought about it and said that if he loves God so much, how much love would he give him? Then she remembered that if he loves God so much, he will love me too, because it's like I'm a child of God. So if you love my father, you love me too, right? So that is the whole thing. You have to look for someone who loves you like Christ loves the church. And if you know, when Christ was even going, when he was leaving the church, he handed the church over to his mother. He was making sure that even as he goes, the Holy Spirit will be there to make sure that the people are okay. So if you are with someone, it's like the person is inconsistent, doesn't care about you. You have to redirect yourself. You have to reevaluate yourself. It has to be someone who loves you like Christ loved it. Christ's love is consistent. It's consistent. It doesn't run out. That is one thing you have to know. So it has to be a consistent kind of love. If a person is giving you mediocre, just know your value. You don't deserve that. You have to look for someone who actually loves you like Christ loves the church. Another thing is he must pour into his wife at all times. Like I said, he's a leader. So every time he has to pour into his wife, be it prayers, be it supporting her, be it anything that has to do with like pouring into your wife. He has to do that. Another thing is he must be responsible, and we can also find that in Ephesians 5:32. This is profound mystery, but I am talking about Christ and the church. Oh, where is that one? Hold on. However, each one of you also must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband. Okay. So another thing is that he also has to love himself. He has to love his wife as he loves himself. So if someone is showing you mediocre love or is giving a character of inconsistency, it means that the person doesn't even love himself so much to even give you that kind of love that you deserve. So you have to also reevaluate the character of the person and see if you want to stay or you want to leave. That's another thing. So the last man is the Boaz man. So we can find that in Ruth again. We are going back to Ruth, sorry. Ruth chapter 2, and Ruth, the Moabites said to Naomi, let me go to whose eyes I find favor. Hold on a second. On her husband's side, a man of standing from the clan of Amalek, whose name was Boaz. So he was a man of good standing, which means that he was a noble man, he was a reputable man. So the man has to be a noble man and of good character. I already mentioned it earlier that he has to be a reputable man when he gets into a place. If they are doing bad things, he shouldn't be the one to say, yay, let's continue. He should be the one his presence alone should make that thing stop. And in fact, he shouldn't even be in the presence of bad company, because all the men that we looked at, they were in the presence of elders. So that is something that you have to look out for. He must have self-control. This one was something that when I read it, I highlighted. It was a highlight for me. And we can see it in Ruth 2:8-9. It says, so Boaz said to Ruth, my daughter, listen to me. Don't go and clean in another field, and don't go away from here. Stay here in the with the women who work for me. Watch the field where the men are harvesting, and follow along after the women. I have told the men not to lay a hand on you, and whenever you are thirsty, go and get a drink from the water jars. And there was another one that says that Ruth actually wait, hold on, let me just look for it because I want to read that one now. Okay, so I want to read from Ruth 3, verse 9, verse 7 to eating a grain at the far end of the grain pile. Ruth approached quickly, uncovered in the midst. He turned and there was a woman laying at his feet. Who are you? He asked. I am your servant, Ruth. He said. She said, spread the corner of your garment. The Lord is greater than that which you have shown earlier. You have not run after the younger men, whether rich or poor. And now, my daughter, don't be afraid. I will do for you what you ask. Oh, this woman Ruth was in the same room with this. You don't even have to be in the same room with a man. Even on the streets, some of the men they want to they want to not be with Boaz. First of all, you have gone to his food. He has given you because you've asked them for something. They'll be asking for something in return. Something comes to ask me for something that I'm not able. But there were so many opportunities that Boaz could have taken advantage of Ruth. Even up until she was in the same room with him, but he had self-control. Self-control is a character that you have to look for in a man. He has to have self-control, not everything that he sees. Wow, what a beautiful lady. Like, I mean, you can say what a beautiful lady, but when you are lasting over someone's wife or a random woman walking down the streets, that's a red flag. So you have to look for a man who has self-control. And you also have to look for a man who does not convert his neighbor's goods or property. So we can see that in Ruth 3, 12 to 13. And Ruth 3, 12 to 13 says that although it is true that I'm a guardian redeemer of our family, there's another who is more closely related than I am. Stay here for the night, and in the morning, if he wants to do his duty as your guardian redeemer, good, let him redeem you. But if he is not willing, as surely as the Lord lives, I will do it. Lie here until morning. So, if you know the story, the property of Ruth's husband or Naomi's son was like a lineage. So Boaz is not supposed to be there at that point. Someone is there before Boaz. So in order for you to take the properties that Naomi's son left, you have to take over his wife as well. And so Boaz had to do the due diligence of asking the person who was supposed to take over if he wanted to take over the properties. And he agreed, he said yes. But when Boaz said, when you take over the property, the tradition is also to marry the wife of the person. He disagreed. So Boaz now married Ruth. So he wasn't in a hurry to convert his neighbor's property. Like, oh, there are some people, they are waiting. They have that spirit where they are waiting for somebody's relationship to break so that they will quickly go for that. See, me, I'll tell you personally, if you see a man like that, like they are moving from one relationship to another or taking their friends' girlfriends from them, that is a red flag. That is a red flag. You have to make sure that the person does not convert his neighbors. And if someone is doing that, you can imagine what they would be doing. Other greater things that they'll be doing, not just taking somebody's wife, or they'll be okay with sleeping with somebody's wife and they will not have any convictions about it. So you have to make sure that you are looking out for somebody who doesn't convert their neighbors good. And I think that's all for now. That's all I have for you. And so I would just hand over to Caleb. And if there are any questions or if the next speaker is available, the next speaker can speak. So thank you very much for having a listening ear.
Okay. No, thank you very much, Madam Ruth, for such a powerful lecture. You have given to us, and then we have learned a lot. Yes, we have really learned a lot as upcoming future husbands and wives. What we should know in an early relationship. And we have really learned a lot, and we will take all that into consideration. So for now, I want to open the platform for questions. Please, if anyone has questions, you can please ask now. Okay. So the first question that we have is, how should our relationship life, or how should our single life be treated?
So if you saw from the Proverbs 31 woman and you saw from Ruth and Esther, they were busily doing something. They were either, for example, Esther, she was making sure that she was taking good care of herself. She took self-care very seriously. For Ruth, she was actually in the field working. She wasn't walking idly on the streets of Instagram, taking pictures that are not Christian like. She was doing something with her time. So we have to make sure that we are not idle when we are single. We have to do something with our lives. because the devil finds idle work for finds work for the idle man.
That's
So
true.
you are supposed to be doing something with your single life. You don't have to be weeping or wishing. Those people, the people that will go online and be saying, God, when, please, please, don't be doing that. Your single life. So I was saying that with your single life, you should be, first of all, focused on what you are doing right now. Whether you are schooling, you have to focus on your schoolwork. When you are at work, you have to focus on your work. And then while doing that, you should be praying for God to direct you to your spouse. So you pray. So with that, with the prayer, you can be very specific about your prayer. You can write the list of things down that you would want to see in your partner and pray about it. Because sometimes we think that the littlest things we don't like, it's too small for God to do for us. But one thing about God is that He pays attention to every detail. So you can just ask that. You can just ask for something and then God will do it for you. If it's His will for you, He's going to do it. So if you pray and you're like, some people think that there are some things that are not important. Somebody's own is that he has to know how to cook because of certain reasons. If that is part of your qualities that you want to see in your spouse, you should add it to your prayers. But make the important things first and make the ones that you can compromise about it the last. And be intentional about the prayer, be consistent about it. Because sometimes we waste our time on social media and then we would be saying God when. And then we waste all the 2 hours that we could have used to pray for our spouse, but we are on social media saying God when. So we have to focus on praying for our spouse and being intentional. Also, if you are the kind of person that doesn't go out and you are just sitting in your room waiting for God to drop your partner, and you are not friendly to people, you also have to reevaluate yourself because the partner is not going to come from heaven. The days of man are over. You have to socialize with people. Sometimes socializing, it doesn't even have to end with the partner. It's just sometimes just making friends with the person and then you go from there. Like you don't have to be a partner to the person. So just be more sociable. Don't look down on people because you don't know how the person would come. You don't know how the person will come. I was listening to one man. The man had a very good work. He was an entrepreneur, but he had a van because he was into electronics. And he took a lady on a date and he took his car van to the place. The man was a good man. He had good qualities, but the woman was sent off by the car. You see that? So I said, put the important things first. Car is not something that cannot change. You can compromise on car. So you pray about important things, but also be intentional about the littlest things that if your own is that he should he should dress decently. Ask God for that kind of person because you don't want to be working with someone that has his trousers down or no sense of fashion, doesn't care about their dressing, will not go out to comb his hair. You have to be intentional about it. So those are the things. So you have a lot of things to do as a single person. You don't have to just be on social media or just be fantasizing about your partner. You have to put it in prayer and focus on your work. That was what Ruth was doing. She was working hard and strategically positioning herself for her partner. So that's it. if there are any more questions.
Okay. No, God bless you very much, Madam Ruth. We are really learning a lot from this program. I have a sister who always complain that she's single. For how long will she be single? And God, God is delaying. And I was like, I'll be like, hello, Sister Constance. Never worry about this. God's time is the best. And then, in God's time, you'll get a right man, the right person who will make you laugh. Then she'll be like, Marcel, the American Untiasie. She's 35 years. And then I met are married. And then she's been left behind, single. She doesn't even have a boyfriend. So what shows everything will be fine for her. This one thing she has been disturbing me with every day, and I really thank God for this lecture, and I will also forward the information to her for her to be patient. Then know that she has a future, and then something better will come out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And with this, our second question is, when are we ready for a relationship?
When are you ready for a relationship?
Yes,
I
please.
think that answer is relative, because someone can be 22 and they are ready for a relationship. Like I said, it all has to do with you making sure that you are praying about your partner. It's like finding a job. Someone might find a job right after school because they are ready for the job, they are ready to work. Someone might not be ready, but because of societal pressure, they want to find a job to be ready. When you are working on yourself to be ready for it. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So you might be,
Yes,
so I
please.
can give an example. Say you are looking for a job, but you are lazy. Even when you wake up in the morning, you don't even want to get up from your bed and brush your teeth. That doesn't show the attitude of someone who is ready to work. If you are ready to work, you wake up in the morning like someone who is going to work. Brush your teeth, sit in front of your computer and keep searching. Keep doing something. Don't be idle. You get it? So
Yes,
you
please.
have to be working on yourself. To when you are done working on yourself, you yourself, you know that you are ready for it. When you are done working on yourself, you know that you are ready for it. So it's relative. Someone can be ready at 22 because they've worked on themselves. Maybe when you were 15, you weren't sociable, but that was one thing you wanted to work on. You say, yeah, if I'm sociable, I'll be able to like get into the crowd, talk to people. Once you get that confidence and you are sociable, you know for yourself that I'm ready to go into the public to speak or to make friends. It's those who are not ready that they are not ready for a relationship. And to be ready, I always say that you have to, you don't have to have everything in place, like be successful. Because another thing that the Bible makes it known to us is that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor with the Lord. So sometimes the men are waiting to get maybe 1 million in their account to show that they are ready. But readiness is not just about you being able to provide. There are other things, your attitude. Are you sure you have the attitude of a husband, of a leader, of a father? I like to tell myself that when I'm actually selecting my partner, I'm not selecting my partner for just myself. I think about my children, like how impactful my partner can be on my child. So I'll not choose someone who is inconsistent, because in my child's life, they will be inconsistent. And I've actually had instances where I've seen an inconsistent father, and it was heartbreaking. This thing happened long time ago, and I still remember it from a friend's experience. For you to be so inconsistent that you don't attend your daughter's graduation that you have promised to attend, and you were sure that you were going to attend, and you didn't even let her know that you were going to attend, you weren't going to attend the graduation after you didn't make any call, nothing. Very disappointing. So you have to work on yourself. Once you work on yourself, like I said, you know you are ready for it and you go for it. That's it.
Okay.
So, any other question?
Okay. Thank you very much for
Okay.
the answer. And our third question is, okay, but before I proceed to the third question, I want to say this, then I proceed to the third question. You know, there was this girl, you know, to which I monitored. The girl was very prayerful, you know, consistent at church activities and all that. You know, when she's speaking, you know, she speaks humbly to everyone. So I thought this girl, you know, has really, you know, worked on herself, because sometimes she'll be given the opportunity to speak, and then all the words that comes out of her is, you know, descending and then full of wisdom. So I thought this girl was, you know, matured and then, you know, ready for a relationship. So I just went to this girl, and then I approached her and I told her my love and my feelings for her. So, you know, it took me about, you know, 2 weeks for her to accept the proposal.
Okay.
So she accepted the proposal, and then I realized, I don't know, after some time, that the girl I saw isn't the girl I'm seeing now in our current relationship. So with this, I didn't know, you know, what she was doing was full of pretense, or I didn't know, say, she was just trying to, you know, lure, you know, the elders and lure the people in the church, say this is what she can do. But deep down and then secretly, that is not it. So me as a guy, you know, I was kind of perplexed, So, you know, I told her, you know, she really has to, you know, work on herself, because, you know, the way I thought she was, that isn't the girl she is now. So, you know, I was confused. So I want to ask this question, that, you know, how can I, you know, treat this thing? Because as of now, we are no more currently. We are no more currently. But if a young person is coming up and she says this thing, you know, how can he advise himself on that?
Like, so your question is, if the person has two different characters,
Yeah.
how can you do? Okay. So for me, I see the church as a hospital. The church is a hospital where everyone who is sick, when you are sick, you go to the hospital. That's what the church is about. We are sinners. All of us have bad characters and all of that. If you would want to know if someone is for you, the best thing is to pray about it. Also get to know the person, not from afar, but close. So the person has to be your friend. For me, I personally feel like if you are friends with someone, they show who they are to you in multiple ways. I wouldn't want to start a relationship with someone that I know from afar without anyone, and not without having a friendship with the person first. because friendship is when you know who the person is. I don't know if you get me. So in your situation, it's like you were looking at her from a distance. Oh, she's holding the mic, she's praying in tongues. Oh, Sister Mary, what a beautiful, God-fearing woman. But she didn't take the time, or maybe you did, but she didn't pray about it. Because when the person is your friend, you also have to pray about it to make sure that the person you are going to ask out is actually someone that God has for you, or it's a daughter of God for you. So you don't just reach out to anybody that you see that has the qualities that you've written down from afar. I would rather befriend the person than get to know the person. You said pretense, but I also think that people's attitude change based on who they relate to. So I can give an example. I'm someone that doesn't shout when I'm talking. I'm not a loud person, but I was in a room with one of my friends from high school for some time. And she's that kind of person that if she's speaking, she's going to scream on top of her voice. So I picked up that attitude unknowingly. And I didn't know about it until my mom pointed out to me that, oh, I'm just standing right in front of you. Why are you screaming? And that is not something I do. So I was even fighting with her and telling her that I'm not screaming. And I was screaming, but I was saying I wasn't screaming because I didn't realize that the person's attitude had changed the way I was or has impacted onto me. Some other ways that people can change is maybe they are from a very bad relationship. And so they want to be conscious of how they were. Maybe in the relationship, they were one buying everything for the guy. So the next relationship, they'll be like, well, me, I'm not going to buy anything. I'll be very, very mean. Maybe you saw that, oh, in the church group, when they ask, oh, who can bring bread? Sister Mary will bring it to. Now you are looking for bread. Sister Mary will not bring bread for you because she has learned a lesson from a past relationship that has impact. That's why I always advise my female friends that if you are in a very toxic relationship, the best thing to do for yourself is to run out of it because you think that you are making it better or it will get better, but it's rather having a negative effect on you and it will affect your next relationship because then you'll be like, okay, so this was what I was doing for the other person. I will not do for this person because the last time it didn't go on well. So you also have to look at that. You have to befriend a person and make sure that you are praying about it. And also be open because people change based on how you relate to them. So that's it. I don't know if I've answered your question, but the main thing is that you should pray. That's my main thing. Pray about it and befriend the person first. Don't just walk up to the person and ask the person out.
Okay, thank you very much for answering this question. No, I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied now. Yeah, I'm satisfied. So I think our third question is, how should we position ourselves in a relationship?
How should we position ourselves in a relationship?
Yes, please.
If you are really, really, really looking for a relationship, you shouldn't be in your room. When there's a church program, go. I know that this VALS Day, the church, they'll be having maybe talk on relationships. Go. Because that's where you meet the singles, you meet all sorts of people. Go. Even for me, I don't even go for that program because I'm going to meet someone to date, but I go for the knowledge and also to make sure that I'm getting friends with like-minded interest or purpose with me. Because someone who is not there at that point is probably on a date somewhere or something. But people who are there are interested in knowing more about relationship. That's why they are there. So when there's a church program that you're interested in, it's not all church programs that you have to go to. When there's one that you're interested in, go. When there's a seminar where there are youth, go. Talk to people, befriend people. Don't be introverted. Like, I'm literally talking to myself to that.
No,
Don't be
I'm
introverted.
introverted.
Pardon? Oh, don't know what the person was saying. Okay. So even if you are introverted, at least when you go for the program, one or two people talk to them. So that's how it is. That's how to strategically position yourself. Be free on social media. Don't private your account. Why are you on social media? Why have you private your account? Why have you private your account? Be nice. When you see people, smile, talk to the person. Doesn't matter if the person is wearing any form of clothes. Smile at the person. I remember when I was traveling, I had a 7-hour layover at one airport, and I was just going up and down. And I saw one black man. He was like I think he was part of the airport cleaners, and I could see that he really wanted to speak to me, but I was on a call. So when I was done with the call, he just walked up to me and said, "Hi, oh, how are you?" Asked me questions. I answered him. He was nice. He asked for my number. At that point, you can choose to give the person your actual number, or you can give your Instagram, because sometimes giving your number is not safe. So give the person your Instagram account and they can reach out to you, or your email. Not every day, you look at the person, look at their work that they are doing. You don't know. You don't even know the future of the person, or how the person can help you in the future, or how you can be of help to the person in the future. So you have to be open. That's how to strategically position yourself. You don't have to be so enclosed in yourself. Also, there are social media. Me, I don't like using dating apps. So I would not tell someone to use dating apps. But if it's good for you, just be careful that you are actually using the right apps to actually meet the person, and be careful of the person that you are meeting. So that's our strategy. You have apps, which I don't really recommend, but if that works for you, go for it, but be careful. Also, attending functions at your church, in school, at work, go. Just that, make sure that it's something that is helpful, not something that does not glorify God. Maybe a club or something. Unless you want to meet someone at the club, or maybe it's the type of person you want to meet. But if you are looking for a Christian man, position yourself where you find one. And then you find one. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
Okay. No, thank you very much. I think there is Daniel Pia, needs the answer to this question. He says, what are some healthy ways to deal with jealousy or possessiveness in a relationship?
That's a good question. So, like, let your partner is jealous. Interesting. I'm just thinking about that, like, yeah, I'm like, why would you still want to be in a relationship with a partner who is jealous? It brings me back to the Proverbs 31 woman whose husband is full of confidence in her. Because if you are full of confidence in your wife, you are not sneaking on the person's phone. You are not tracking the person from afar, because you know who you married. You know that this man has self-control. he's a godly man, he loves the Lord. So why should he be jealous of maybe me talking to another guy? Like, why should he be jealous? Do you get it? It's not something that you have to be jealous about or to. I don't think that is a good thing. Like, to be possessive. It's a red flag for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but if you are full of confidence in your partner, you are full of confidence because you know that they are doing the right thing. They are not being sneaky about their lifestyle. Like, maybe when you are out of the country, they are going about sleeping with 1,001 guys or something. So again, that's why you have to marry someone who loves God, because someone who loves God knows that he or she is not supposed to be jealous and possessive of you. Why are you possessive? Like, God does not even possess us. He allows us to have our free will. So why is a man that was created by God possessive, or a woman that was created by God be possessive of you? It really doesn't. How do you deal with it? I think that you should talk to the person, let the person know. Maybe the person is not aware that that's how you feel about it, or the person is feeling like you are protecting him or her, but that's not exactly what it's looking like from your end. So let the person be aware of it. And maybe if the person has maybe suspicious things that he or she has seen at your end, you let the person know what is going on. Like, why are you behaving this way? How can we solve it? And then you can reach out. The person can, both of you can solve that issue. But to me, it's a red flag to me. But if you have not spoken to the person about it, or the person is not aware of it, you should make the person aware of it, and then talk to him or her about how to, like put down that attitude or stop that attitude. Unless, of course, the jealousy is that you have a female best friend. If you're a guy, that one, yeah. Even me, if you are my partner, I'll be jealous, because that is a no-no. I have to be your best friend. I cannot have female best friend. Or you're female, you have male best friend. No. You can have male close friend that you talk to, but or you have female best friend and you're a guy, and then if people are going to places that is not godly, the person has every right to be jealous. But again, you have to talk to the person, let the person be aware, because sometimes people are not aware of that attitude about them. And then you ask how you can, ways at which you can come to compromise that issue or stop that attitude, how it can stop. If you still want to be with the person, that for me is a red flag, because I want my partner to have full confidence in me. Yeah. Oh. Oh, there's nothing wrong with being introvert. I'm actually an introverted person, so there's actually nothing wrong with being introverted. But the question that the person asked me was that, how should you strategically position yourself, or how should you position yourself to be in a healthy relationship? And I was saying that if you want to find a partner and you go for such programs, you also have to open up. It doesn't mean be extroverted, right? You have to open up. What is this person saying? You have to open up, and you have to be ready to talk to people who want to talk to you. You have to show signs of being an open person or an approachable person. Because one thing about introverted people, like myself, we might think we are approachable, but we are not giving signals of being approachable, signs of being approachable. Even if we are not the one to go and say hi first, we have to be open-minded about it. Not after the program, you just take your bag and go. Sometimes you just have to wait a little and talk to a few. It doesn't make you extroverted, it just makes you sociable. That's it. Or friendly. Because introverted people come across as unfriendly, but we are very friendly people. We just don't know how to start a conversation. So when you start a conversation with someone, or someone starts a conversation with you, you realize that, okay, the person is eager to talk. So yeah, that's it. There's nothing wrong with being introverted. Any other question?
Yeah, sorry. I think Daniel Pia asked another question. It says, how can he be more emotionally available and be a supportive partner?
Okay. How can you be emotionally available?
Yeah, and be a supportive partner.
Okay. So to be emotionally available for your partner, I think that you have to know your partner's love language. That's something you have to know about your partner. So if your partner's love language is service, and so I mean, so if your partner's love language is service, and the service is that the person would want that you do little things, little kind gestures for him or her, like, okay, when you people go on a date night, something like checking up on the person whether the person has gotten home. It's a kind gesture to the person. You do that. That's how to be emotionally available. But if say the person's um love language is something different and you are giving that person this service love language, the person will not feel like you are emotionally present for him or her because you are not showing the kind of love language that the person is or wants. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know if I've answered your question. If your partner is abusive, what do you do? Yeah, I really want to say that level because it's a big red flag. Like, but I would say that first of all, you have to again. You see, that's why I like the Bible. You have to. So, if you people have an authority, say your counselor, your pastor, or anybody that your partner reveres, you can report the partner to that person. Again, it goes back to say that he or she has to be accountable to someone. So if he's beating you or she's beating you, you have to have someone to talk to. If you talk to the person and the person speaks to him and he's still beating you, I don't know. I don't want to say break up. Is it a friendship? Is it marriage or it is like boyfriend, girlfriend? Did the person specify? Okay. Okay. If it is marriage, I would tell you to talk to the your counselor or the one that your partner respects or is obedient to. But if it is boyfriend, girlfriend, honestly, it's not worth it for you to continue the relationship. Unless maybe you keep stepping on the person's toes, but still, it also has to do with self-control and respect for you. If someone respects you, the person will not beat you because of a mistake you did. The person will sit down and communicate with you because he values you. Again, if someone loves you like Christ loved the church, Christ didn't beat the church. Christ, when he saw that we were separated from him due to sin, he sent his only son to die for us. So he looked for a solution. He didn't just say, I'm just going to do this before I'll punish them. Like beating someone is like a severe punishment. But if you people sit down and talk about it, that is a better way of solving an issue. So, like I said, if you are married, talk to your counselor or the person that your partner respects. And if you're in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, please find a way out. Or if you can solve the issue, solve it. But prevention is better than cure. So I'll tell you to find your way out. I don't know. I don't like stress. So if I'm in a relationship with someone and the person is beating me or emotionally blackmailing me or manipulating me, I don't think that I would want to be in that relationship. Unless, of course, I'm the one contributing to that. But if it has to do with something that the person is supposed to, like, is something the person does, whether it's a least mistake or something, that's a big red flag to me. Even if it was a big mistake, you still don't have to be the person. So yeah.
Thank you very much. I think Louis Macy has a question, and he says he is an autism. And what's the challenge to face to find a partner? By Louis Macy. He says it's
so
what's the challenge to find a partner?
Okay, so if I get your question, yeah, you said you have autism and you are. Let me just read it again. What challenge do you have in finding a partner? Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, with things like this, someone will love you for who you are. It doesn't matter whatever you have. Whatever, there's someone out there who would love you for who you are. That is why, again, I say that you have to be at places that you find people. If you stay in your room, nobody is going to come. If you're on social media, you have muted yourself or you have privated your account, you are not going to find anybody. If someone texts you on social media and then it's not a harmful text and you don't respond because maybe the person is looking a certain kind of way, like looking like they don't have too much money or you are looking down on the person, the possibility of you finding someone. Because some people found their partners through people. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So the person that is texting you might not be your partner, but the person that you are texting can be your friend and might post you on your birthday. And then somebody will be like, oh, this girl looks very like this one. Can I befriend her? And or him, and then collect your number and it starts from there for you. So you have to be open-minded. It doesn't matter if you are a wheelchair user, you are a non-verbal person, you have autism. People would love you for who you are. If someone loves you or someone wants to be in a relationship with you, they have to accept everything that you are. So yeah. So you have to be open-minded. You don't have to tell yourself, I'm autistic. So when I go to a group where there are people, I just have to be in my corner. I don't have to talk to anyone. You have to socialize. You are an introvert. You still have to socialize. It doesn't mean socialize with everybody, but you can just reach out to one or two people and then socialize with them. That would open your friendship circle for you to meet more people. So yeah. So I don't know if I've answered, but I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. I was very happy when you used an example of a man in a wheelchair, finding for a love, and it's about who you are. I have this uncle of mine, who is on a wheelchair, but he's in the UK. And then when he comes to Ghana, sincerely speaking, he loves women a lot. He loves girls, women. Although he's in a wheelchair, he doesn't feel bad of himself or he doesn't take that as a disadvantage. But he rather approaches the ladies with full confidence, and then some accept and then some declines because of the situation. But there is this who accepted proposal despite the fact that it's in the wheelchair. So you could see say this lady loved him in spite of his condition and not because of the challenges he's facing as a person in the wheelchair. So they were together and then they planned everything. And then everything was in success until one person being a mediator destroyed everything, saying, "Oh, this guy doesn't love you. He's just in for what you are, just because we're in the UK and you've come back to Ghana. So she just want to take advantage of you to be in the UK. So just forget the girl. So he had a problem with that. He was double-minded. So I think that's the problem he faced, and then called the girl and then spoke his mind to the girl. But the girl really showed true love and then defended herself. And then I realized that the girl really loved him because of his money. Thank you very much for that. Right, I support
Yeah,
you.
well,
So our next question is, what are the limits and boundaries you should know in a relationship?
okay. Limits and boundaries in a relationship. I personally feel like it's subjective. Some people's limits or boundaries would be that they would not kiss and have sex before the marriage. They will not move into their partner's space because they are practicing celibacy or they are virgins. So there is it's subjective, but as Christians, we are told not to defile our bodies because our bodies are the temple of God, and God created sex for marriage. So I think that one of the boundaries is to be to even if you didn't you made a mistake or something happened in your past, that does not make you um keep yourself for your partner. You have to set a certain kind of boundary, because me, I personally think that if you engage in things like sex, you don't get to focus on the knowing the person aspect very well. Just focus on the action part of the relationship, which is like, oh, let's go and have sex, let's kiss, let's do that. But really, if you take that off the table, you would have so many things that you realize that you want to know about your partner that you do not know about your partner yet. But if you start adding those things like sex and all other forms of sexual immorality stuff, you realize that you didn't get the chance to know the person that much. Maybe you didn't get a chance to know the person that much. Like if the person is fighting with you, instead of you people to sit down and then solve the issue, you end up solving the issue like, okay, let's just go and have sex and that's it. We don't talk about the issue, that's it. That's not how to start a relationship. It wouldn't end well. I mean, some people do it and maybe it ends well for them, but you as a Christian, I believe that God wants you to keep yourself. And even if you're not keeping yourself for your partner, the Bible says that your body is the temple of God. So you have to keep it holy. So if you are being chaste or you are being celibate or you are keeping your virginity, it should be to glorify God at the end of the day, not just for your partner. So that's one of the boundaries. Other people can have other boundaries like moving in with their partners, especially if you have that boundary of keeping yourself chaste. You don't want to move in with your partner because you know that at the end of the day, two people who love themselves, they are not firewood that if you burn, like, I mean, they are not firewood, something would happen. So you don't be in the same room with that person, you don't move in with the person. And other boundaries that you can add to it, like you can add boundaries that you yourself would want to have in a partner. Like some people, I know some people they would leave their schoolwork or their work and then do a full-time wife duties for their boyfriend. I'm not saying that don't enjoy food or don't enjoy cooking for your partner. But I'm saying that for you to say that your Saturday and your Sunday, you are going to stay in your partner's house, wash, clean, cook, all those things, it's not advisable as a relationship. Maybe once a while, okay, it's okay to take part in that. But for you to do a full-time wifely duty, it's not advisable. You are letting him enjoy things that he's not supposed to enjoy yet. But I mean, you can cook. Me, I would cook for you, but I'm cooking for myself, and you came to visit me, so we are eating. You get what I'm saying? It wouldn't be like I'm cooking for just you. Also, you can cook for the person, but it shouldn't be an habitual thing. Like if you go to the universities, you see all sorts of things, especially Ghanaian universities. Like some people not even write their eyes. They've moved in with their partners. They are cooking. They are cleaning. They are sweeping. They are doing all sorts of things in the school's dormitory with their partner. It's not the person is not going to marry you. Sometimes women think that when you do all those things, it makes you a wife material, but it doesn't make you a wife material. That's not what makes you a wife. If the person likes you, the person likes you. It's not about you cleaning 100 times or 1,000 times that will make the person like you. But at the same time, like I said, I'm not asking you not to do kind gestures for your partner. I'm just saying that don't be habitual about it. It should be like every time, every Saturday. That one is on your calendar. Every Saturday, Sunday, you go to Kojo's house and go and clean and wash his clothes and cook for him. No, it's not advisable. But you can do so you can add other things to it. Maybe you will not go to clubs, you find yourself at godly places, you not be in a room alone because you know what it can spark. There are so many boundaries that you can put down for yourself and your partner. So I think I've answered the question. Or is there any more questions?
Thank you very much for answering this. Thing. No, I was really happy when you were talking about you cooking and bringing it home. I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
This girl took advantage of me. And, she just sometimes see herself as champion. When I call her, she just herself. But it's good to learn how to cook as a guy. So, I'm really
Yeah.
happy with the motion. Our next question is, how do we react to a missed signal?
Interesting. So a mixed signal, like you thought someone liked you, but the person didn't like you.
Yeah.
But you, okay. So for me, I always want to I would want to confront the person about their attitude towards me. So I quite remember I have this friend that I actually gave something to him, and it was like something of very good value. And he saw it as a mixed signal and thought maybe I liked him, and was asking, why would you give me such thing? Like, what? Why would? And I was happy he asked, because someone would have thought about it that it was a mixed signal, would take it like, oh, she likes me, but she couldn't say it, so she gave me this. So when he asked me, I told him why I gave it to him. And then we were all comfortable. So I think that if you see a signal, maybe the girl is cooking for you too much, you want to make sure that you are asking like, what exactly is this about? Like, are you doing it out of a place of love without benefits or anything like that? Or you actually like me? Do you like me or something? So that, because this mixed signals has brought a lot of issues. Like, say maybe the person is cooking for you, you've not asked the person anything because you don't like the person. You have told that you have completely ignored the person's whatever the person is doing for you. And so you go and take the person's friend or somebody the person knows, and the person will feel offended. So I think that you just have to confront the person, confront the person and explain what they are supposed to do or what they are wanting to do. You can ask the person what it is about. If you see it as a mix now, you say, oh, every time you come and hug me after church, is there something I should know? Like, do you want me to, like, what do you want from me? Or what do you expect from me? Or something. Just because you wouldn't know unless you ask the person. You cannot come and ask me, this person keeps hugging me, does she like me? I will not know if the person likes you or not, because I'm not in the person's head. So you just have to, with mixed signals, confront the person, ask the person what they want. Do you get it? Again, it brings me back to Ruth. When she was sleeping at the feet of Boaz, and Boaz asked who is she and why she's here. And then she made it known to him that this is her intention, that be my guardian redeemer. So Boaz was sure that, okay, the way she was strategically positioning herself, she had an agenda. Do you get it? So it wasn't a mixed signal like, okay, she's not okay, like she's interested, or I don't think she's interested, or like he had to ask to know what her intentions were. So you have to confront the person. That's the only way you will know whether it's a mixed signal or it's not a mixed signal. So I hope I've answered that.
Thank you very much. Esther needs an answer to this question. No, she says,
Okay.
what is your stance on ladies approaching guys they like, especially if the guy is the Proverbs 31 guy?
Interesting. So me, I'll say it point blank, plain. I do. Women proposing to women, no, red flag. Red flag. Don't go and tell a boy that, please, I like you. No. Esther, not Esther. Ruth didn't tell Boaz that she lied to us. She kept positioning herself whilst working hard. So if you have a crush on someone and the person goes to church, every church program the person is go and sit beside the person. When they say first shake the person. Strategically position yourself. Like sometimes women will say that they want a guy with a car. And you are using the bus. How would you find a boy with a car? You are not at the parking lot, so you will not know which boy or guy has a car or not. You have to be there. So why are you not there? Why are you using the bus? You to own a car so that you can find somebody with a car. So you to be at the program so that you can see Brother Kuku or Brother Kujo, and then strategically position yourself for it. Don't just be there and then go and propose. No. Yeah, I don't that proposal thing is so embarrassing. Because if you know Genesis, when God created the woman, it was Adam that saw her and said, yes, this is the bone of my bone and the flesh of my. So it is the man who is supposed to do all the man is a husband for a reason. It's called husbandry. And it means that he has to, if you know husbandry, they take care of dogs and the rest. So that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to pursue you. You're not supposed to pursue the man. He's the one supposed to. All you can do as a lady is to be open, to be approachable. So if you're in your room and then you're looking for Brother Kojo to come to you, he's not coming there. Go to the program, go to the church program. Don't be in your room and then DM Brother Kojo and say, please, I love you. No, that is red flag. God doesn't even want you to do that as a woman. Because in the Bible it shows that none of them did that. So you are supposed to be open about it and strategically position yourself for someone to the person you have a crush on or you like to come and tell. And if the person doesn't, because people are like, what if he doesn't? I know that's the next question that will come. Let me answer you. If the person doesn't come and ask you, it means he doesn't like you, my sister or brother. My sister rather, not brother. He doesn't like you. That's why he has not come to ask you. Because if someone is also interested in you, they'll be particular about the little details. The little details that even if you are wearing red shoe, you know that some people even know the shoe that their girlfriends or their wives wore on their first date. You like they can me too, I'll be shocked. If my father was to tell me what my mother wore on his first, I would say that you are intentional, you are a detailed oriented person. You are someone that was taking notice. That's why he was able to approach the person. If the person doesn't approach you, I don't think he likes you enough to approach you and tell you. So that is all I have to say. Don't go and propose to that. The least or the most you can do as a woman is to position yourself. And hopefully the person you have a crush on will come to you. I think I've answered that. Any other questions?
Thank you very much. For
What if the guy feels shy to propose?
yeah, that's a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if the guy feels shy to propose? Interesting. Why should a leader be shy? Have you seen a leader? Imagine your president is shy to go and speak at UNICEF or in an African Union meeting because he's shy. Have you ever seen a leader that is shy? I don't understand. Like, you understand me. Like, if you're a leader, you have to exhibit some qualities. Shyness is not supposed to be on the table for you. Even if you are shy, when you get to certain places, you take off that role. Because Well, I'll tell you something about my father. My father said when he was growing up, he was a very, very quiet person. No one would have thought that he would be a pastor because the way he was quiet, you would not know. So so that he can do what he can be able to build his social circle. Fast forward to now, my father knows my friends, and I have two sisters. So my father knows my friends' parents and all of that. This is someone who was very, very, very shy and antisocial. But because he knew he had to be a leader, he had to take charge of his family. Because some of the things that I've enjoyed in this life, if he wasn't the kind of person that he's still quiet, but he talks to people a lot. So some of those things have helped me have it's part of my prayer for my partner though, that he has to be extroverted or he has to be someone who is open to people socially. Because if we are not sociable, you will not things will be happening here and you will not know because you don't have friends that will tell you that this is happening. So don't if the guy is shy, I don't know what to tell you, but if he's a leader, he's not supposed to be shy. And if he's shy, he has to, if he really, 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 really wants you, he will walk up to you even though he's shy. I've not heard of any guy saying that I'm shy of this person because I'm shy to go and ask this person out. Right now, if maybe in the past, maybe in the 1990s, that would make sense because maybe we don't have social media to be able to but if the guy is shy and cannot tell you face to face, maybe on phone, text or something, he can let you know about it. So okay, if he's shy, how is he going to propose to you? Like go to your he's shy of you. Oh. How will he now meet your parents? He's shy of you. Imagine, like think about it. Even you that is going to marry, he's shy of you. How are you now going to introduce your parents? If your father is if you introduce him to your parents, your father is asking you a question, you now say that he's shy, he cannot talk. Please, so let's be guided. He's not supposed to be shy. He's shy of you. No, please. He's not shy. He just doesn't want to ask you out. That's the answer I have for you, my sister. Okay, the next question. Someone is asking another question. I don't know.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, I'm really enjoying the session of the. I'm really enjoying the session of the relationship. You know, talk. You know, I have two suggestions to see before I come to the next question, and then Daniel appears.
Thank you.
You know, there's this girl who once tested me, and you know, said, asked me if I had a girlfriend, and I was like, no, I don't have a girlfriend. But why is she asking? And then she was like, she wants me to be a boyfriend. I was like, why is she asking this question? Or why is she saying that? And then the answer, I wasn't fully convinced about the answer. What she said was, I was like seriously, you just want to be part of my. That's why I should boyfriend to that. So no, but without giving her attention to me, then she'll be like, she's sick. The next day, back pains. The next day, headache. Then you know, she felt very skinny. So you know, I couldn't give her that attention till some, I think 2 weeks time. She was like, she's not seeing the essence of the relationship, so I should just, you know, she just end this up. And I said, okay. I just saw this this is about 2 years ago. I just saw the girl recently. Then this girl has really advanced, fully in everything, and then completely healed from everything. The shape. I was like, what? I missed a chance. I missed I missed an opportunity.
Yeah.
But if I had known, I would have, been it. So yeah, it's a lesson to be learned, and I've really learned a lot from this.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this girl whom I also saw, I think some time ago, and then the girl was very beautiful, and then when I met her at the place, and the way she talks, I like the way she talks, the way she presented herself, and all that. But I was shy. I was shy to propose to her. So
Okay. Yeah. So another thing is that again, I feel like people go and propose to people they are not friends with. Like me, if you see me from afar and then you just come and propose to me. To me, it's very cringy. Like, why you with him? You are not my friend. We don't have mutual friends, and you just want to come and ask me to be your girlfriend. No, that's not. If I feel like I don't know. Are people shy of their friends? If you are friends with someone, I think it's easier for you to let them know that you like them than to be shy of them. Even though I have a friend that is like, he is not sure if he should readily ask somebody because the person is not giving him like an approachable um how do I say it? It's not being approachable to him. So it sometimes it's not that the person is shy too, it's just that you are not making yourself approachable for the person to even come and tell you. That's why the person is it's not shyness, it's probably I'm afraid that I'll get bounced because the person is not really looking like she's interested. So what if I get bounced? Or maybe the person has something that you feel like is too big. I don't know why people feel like, again, that's what I said that when you work on yourself, you know if you are ready for this particular relationship or not. Because maybe if you see someone like a big person, maybe a big person, someone in a very high position, and you are not at a very high position, it will discourage you from going to tell the person. It doesn't mean you are shy of the person. It means you are afraid you chop bounce. You get it? Sometimes it's not you are shy, it's that you are afraid that the person will bounce you. And if it bounces you, and the person is your friend, the friendship might end. But if you are genuinely shy of the person, there are ways that you can do it. You don't even have to. Even though me, I find it to be very some way if you do it online. Maybe you can text the person. Especially me, I would always say make sure the person is your friend first because that eases the whole thing for you to go and talk to the person. But if the person is not really, really your friend like that, you can find out if the person likes you before you reach out to tell the person you're interested in them. Do you get it? And again, I say if you really, really like someone, you put down all the shyness and everything aside. And then it's like going for a job interview. You know that you are unemployed for 6 months. You are literally broke. You have like a very big interview coming up. Then you say that I'm shy. Oh. When I go there, I'm very shy. You would pray about it. You would work towards making sure that the interview is great for you. And then you go and show out what you have done. So that's how it works. If you are shy, you can also pray about it. That God will take away the shyness so that you can let the person know. If the person is not approachable, you have to find a way to let the person like either know whether the person is interested in you or not. Okay. So that's that. That's what I have to say.
Okay. I think the last question is who should know about your relationship?
Who should know? Who, who should know about your relationship? Interesting. Who should know about your relationship? First of all, you people must have an authority that you are obedient to or you respect. So if you have that authority, yes, they should know about it. Then your pastor, your pastors, if you people attend different churches, your pastors, if you attend one church, your pastor, your head pastor, or can know about it. Your parent, both of your parents should know about it. And if you want to tell your friends about it, you can. But these are the three main people, like an authority that you are very much aware. I mean, I'm counting God as someone who already knows because you have prayed to Him and then you are very sure that He directed you to your partner. Then your an authority next person be your the people you decide whether to let them know or not. Your friends, your sisters, and
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think this is our last question from Esther.
Okay.
He's saying, how do you heal from broken heart?
How do you heal from broken heart? Interesting. I know some people don't play loud music and be crying. They have a playlist of the loud music that they will play. That's what helps them. But I think that healing, people heal differently. People heal differently. For me, my own healing is that anything that reminds me of the person, I would put away. That's how I heal. That's how I heal. I'm not mad at the person, but because I want to heal from it, I would put everything that both of us shared away. Another thing is if you keep yourself busy, the possibility of you thinking about the person it reduces as time goes on. So if you are busy, you don't have the time to think about the person. Like, oh my God, we went to the beach. My goodness, and it took very nice. Like, no, that thing reduces as time goes on. So you have to keep yourself busy with something. You don't have to be idle. And it's hard. Healing from a breakup can be hard, but if you are idle, it makes it harder because that's when you start thinking about all the nice memories that you guys had. If you have pictures, you'll be looking at it and it will make you cry more. If you have playlists that you people had together, you'll be singing it and you'll be crying. It's not easy. But like I said, if you are doing something, you are working, you are schooling, you have papers or essays to put down, you will not be thinking about it too much. So how to heal is to be doing something that distracts you from your partner. I don't know if you get me. Something that distracts you. And if your own healing is also um putting away pictures that remind you of each other, you can also do that. Or things that remind you of the person, you can also do that. So that's another. And also, the ultimate thing is to pray to God to help you heal because He is the ultimate person. So, yeah, that's it. Oh, great. This one here, I don't think you need an answer. If the relationship is dying off and there are no feelings, you have to end it, my sister. Or you want to try to make it work. I personally feel like with relationships, I see love as a sacrificial something, right? It's very so if you are in a relationship with someone and because love is sacrificial, when you are married to them, I want to even take it to marriage so that you see the reasons why if you don't like the person that much, you have to leave. Is because if you don't love the person too much and then you get married to the person, if something is happening to the person, you don't feel the need to sacrifice for the person. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So let's say the person is admitted at the hospital and you have a big interview coming, like an interview that if you get, or a contract that if you win, you are going to get like $1 million or pounds. And the person is in the hospital, you have to take care of the person. If you don't like the person too much, which one would you choose? Let's be frank. You choose the $1 million, not because you need the money, but because you don't think that you love the person too much to let that thing to be at the hospital whilst that big project is there waiting for you. Do you get it? So I think that it's a lot. People think that marriage is I'll post on Instagram, we'll be dancing on TikTok, we'll do skits. It's not about that. A lot of sacrifices. Me, I was able to witness hands-on young couple marriage. And during the Christmas, the woman, her husband, her children were all sick. And the man was the only one who wasn't sick. He had to make sure that he was making sure that food was there for them, making sure that they are taking their medication, making sure that they are all good. And that is how it works. Like it has to be, you have to sacrifice a lot. If you don't love the person that much, you cannot give such a sacrifice. And it brings me back to John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Because he loved us so much, he had to sacrifice. Imagine sacrificing your only son to to come and die for the whole world, like everyone. It's hard. It's one of the hardest things to do. But he did it anyway because it's out of love. So yeah, that's what I would say. Okay. Oh, I hope Grace, I've answered your question. So you have to sit back and rethink about whether you are going to hurt the person long term or short term. I can also give an example of because you are holding on to the person, someone better is out for the person. And then because you are holding on to the person is not able to meet the better person that will give him what he or she deserves. And then you end up marrying the person and then long term hurting the person instead of short term hurting the person. Say, oh, I don't think I like you anymore. We should go our separate ways, but we can still be friends, right? So you have to think about it. Okay, so please give some tips on how and tips on knowing what. Please give some tips on sustaining long distance. Okay, the first thing I'll say about long distance relationships is communication, communication, communication. Like you guys have to communicate a lot, a lot. a lot. You also have to trust the person to be able to, like, when you're in a long distance relationship, it's already hard. Then you are suspecting, okay, why is the person not picking my calls? Is he going up to someone? Is he this? So communication and trust are two things that long distance relationship you have to have. And you also have to be very intentional about how you show love. Again, the love language of the person really matters, because now this is the time that you show it more, because it's like, if the person likes acts of service, or what are the other love languages that are there? Because I don't want to say physical touch, because we are Christians. Even hugging the person can cost something. But even if, because even also long distance, physical touch is not also this. But it's also communication, trust, and a lot of sacrifices. Because sometimes you would want to go and meet the person. You have to travel to meet the person. You have to sacrifice some of your vacation days to meet the person. You have to sacrifice money to meet the person, all of that. So one tip is that you have to be in constant communication. You also have to trust the person. Again, I think that trust will be easier if the person loves God, because he would have everything that he needs to be able to, like, for you to be able to trust him, that he's not going to actually do anything while you are not there. And the last one, what did I even say? Sacrifices. So yeah, not normally long distance relationship doesn't work. Well, I know some long distance relationships that have actually worked. Like, yeah, most of the reasons why long distance relationship doesn't work is mainly because of communication. Because you don't communicate enough to the person. That is why it doesn't last. So you have to be sure to communicate with the person. Like anything that the person needs to know, so that the person will not be suspicious or be thinking that there's something going on that you're not telling the person about, or hiding stuff from the person. Just pretty much engage in a lot of communication and be consistent about it. And show love in different ways, especially taking into consideration the person's love language while showing love. It helps a lot. So yeah, that's also something.